2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome on into another episode 11 of On Beat Off Script. I am Brandito, and I'm joined here by my co-hosts, Mel and Incredibob. How are you guys doing today?
I'm just excited we've reached episode 11. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's so many.
That's 22 weeks that we have been working on this project. That's almost half a year.
That's crazy.
Which, the fact that we're still actually actively showing up, regardless of hangovers, regardless of tattoo pain, regardless of medications, we're still finding a way to show up for this. It is
like
decently impressive.
Other. That's the more impressive.
Well,
that's easy on that one.
Sorry, I forgot this is the first recording with you two back since
Correct.
Since Cali.
Yeah. Rose might have had your back a little bit more. Not this time around. You're on your own. Welcome on in, guys. Listeners, thank you so much for coming down. We've got a really solid couple of albums here that we wanted to go over. Solid in what they could have been. We're going to discuss what they ended up being and kind of go from there. The albums that we got covered this week
I'm already
is Princess
ready to
of
fight
Power.
You, man. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, can I keep telling people what we're going to be discussing today?
You're already shitting on them.
I haven't said anything yet. That's the whole point. Is I'm trying to throw the lure out here to make sure that our viewers and our listeners know I haven't said anything about anything yet. You don't know what how I feel
or what they could have been.
Yes, I agree. Because right now, as far as everybody out there knows, we haven't given our opinion at all.
All right, fine.
So we're going to discuss what they ended up being by the time it's all said and done. That's specifically what I said.
You're insinuating negative things in your statements right now already. You're
you're interpreting negative things in my statements.
Did he not sound negative in that? Back me up here.
There's a little negativity there, but there could be positivity. Who knows?
Exactly. That's the whole point. It's a mystery box.
Fine.
I can't wait to hear what we're going to listen to.
Fine.
Yeah, exactly. This week we were covering Princess of Power by Marina, The Carter 6 by Lil Wayne, and Something Beautiful by Miley Cyrus, the cinematic event that she wanted to put up as kind of our main spotlight album this time around. But before we dive into that, how did you guys feel about the albums kind of going into everything, kind of pre-listening? How did we have expectations? What were our thoughts?
Oh man, I think this is one of our bigger star-studded, so to speak, album lineups we've had in a while.
I was a little bit more pandery on this selection for sure.
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of expectations going into this. I'll say that alone. But I was excited to come into this for sure with these big artists.
Mm-hmm. And Mel?
Agree. Yeah, I was so pumped for Lil Wayne and Miley. I've been very much looking forward to these. Marina, I don't know. I know her hits, like some past hits, but I've never done a deep dive, so that was a fun experience for me.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I was kind of pumped as soon as I saw Lil Wayne. I'm like, everybody's gonna love Lil Wayne. We want to talk about Lil Wayne. It's gonna be something that I think a lot of our viewers also want to hear what our takes are on it. And then Miley was just kind of hard to avoid because it's Miley Cyrus and she's making a really big deal about this album. So you kind of were. I felt a little bit bullied into having to cover it because I wasn't nearly as excited about it as I think you were, and. Yeah.
I didn't bully him for the record. He was willing to do it.
No. I feel like Miley bullied us because of how big of an event that they're making these 14 tracks. And yeah, we'll discuss how we actually feel about them. But without further ado, let's just dive in. Let's start talking about the album. Starting off with Princess of Power by Marina. And you're asking, who's Marina? Let me tell you. Marina is a Welsh singer-songwriter, poet, and producer who's been making music since 2005. She started off as Marina and the Diamonds and debuted with her album The Family Jewels in 2010. Kind of an indie pop styled album that actually entered at number 5 in the UK charts. She then dropped her sophomore album Electra Heart in 2012, which was her break into the kind of electro dance pop sphere, and certified gold in the US and the UK. Third album was a Europop-esque album called Fruit, released in 2015, and was her first to crack the top 10 on Billboard's top 10, leading to a feature with Clean Bandit on charting track Baby. Princess of Power is actually her sixth studio album, so she's been at it for quite some time now, and her first one since 2021's Ancient Dreams in a Modern Land, and is her first on her new independent label. So she actually started her own kind of Europop focused label herself, and this is her own first release that came out on that label. The label's called Queenie Records, in case you were wondering. Since her last album, though, she was diagnosed with myalgic encephalomyelitis, which ended up kind of delaying the project to focus on her health for a period of time. So she's been working on this kind of for the full 4 years that it took to be able to pump it out. As well as producing, she's actually working on her debut poetry book. She's also in the literary game, working on a book of poetry as we speak. And Mel is currently searching it up to try to figure out how she can pre-order it as we speak. Princess of Power is said to pull like a lot of inspiration from the 70s and 2000s, which is kind of a weird. Just wanted to skip 20 years in between. She was like, we don't really need that. She was like, but 70s and 2000s I like, specifically like the pop stars like ABBA, Madonna, Kylie Minogue, who she actually toured with in 2024, and is said to be kind of more emotive than her previous albums, while still kind of being a light pop album. She really wanted to incorporate moments of tragedy, specifically as like a longtime artist who's trying to move through a way more younger influenced world in pop music right now. You know, you take a look at the Sabrinas, you take a look at the Chappells, the Taylors, the Olivias, all of them, Billies. You know, there's so many artists, Miley, which we're going to cover too, right? Kind of younger from a different time than her, and so just kind of how she's continuing to grow and adjust what she does to kind of still stay relevant in a pop sphere that is overwhelmingly youthful, for lack of a better word. But yeah, so we're going to dive into Princess of Power here. Before we go into the track by track, though, Bob, Mel, what were you guys' thoughts about Marina before we before you gave it a spin?
Listen. Overall, I think this is a fun album. I don't know that it was a particularly enjoyable for me album, and I will just leave it at that for now.
What I'm gonna
I was gonna say, you're just giving the conclusion in the introduction.
A little bit, maybe.
In case you're wondering, I'm not gonna like anything we talk about.
I was gonna say, how much do you want me to give away? Because like,
you loved it,
dude. I want this to have a brat moment. I loved it so much. I really loved it. Like, yeah. I want it to blow up. I don't know. I don't know if it will. It probably won't, but I would love it to.
For me, I didn't really know Marina. I knew her obviously off of Baby, and that was kind of it. But I was like, we haven't really touched on like electro pop kind of music at all in our 11 episodes of recording. And so I was like, let's just give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? And
the worst that can happen is Bob hates it.
The worst thing that could happen was Bob hates it, turns out.
Yeah, maybe there's some negative connotation what I said earlier, sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind as we talk through it.
See, Mel, that wasn't insinuating. That was directly saying negative connotations. Fair. There's a big difference between those two things.
I am emotional and I took offense too soon. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's what I do.
It's fine. We're going to listen to songs that are going to make you feel better about it now.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
they're fun.
Yeah, we're fun. We're having fun. Are you not having fun?
No, I am actually having a lot of fun. I'm just fucking insane.
Yeah, I know you are. Moving onwards. Into the first track, Princess of Power. You know what? Let's just introduce everybody to Marina before we even start talking about the track. I think it's probably the best thing to do. Guys, this is Princess of Power. Mel, you start us off.
Yeah.
The Princess Peach girl power energy that she's giving right off the bat, obsessed. Obsessed. I'm in. I'm hooked. I'm so excited. And the post-chorus I thought was such a fucking bop. Like, such a bop.
Yeah, I listen. Coming in, no, it's nice. It's fun. I'm bopping my head a little bit. The beat's a little simplistic, but that's fine. I think it does its job. I have the exact opposite feeling about the post-chorus. When she starts going into big aura,
it's so
like I'm immediately taken away from the fun I'm having. Like, what is she doing? I get it. It's fun. It's bubble pop. It's bubble gum. It's poppy. But it didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah,
Brandito,
I really disliked the voice on the post-chorus too.
Yeah,
it was not for me whatsoever. It is a really fun, like, kind of hyper pop, like, sort of vibe, like right from the beginning to the end with these really heavy techno bass lines, which I thought was a lot of fun. It's very ABBA inspired, just with more fleshed out vocals, like obviously being a soloist as opposed to ABBA being the group before that they are. This feels like a more powerful vocal performance, but still very ABBA coded in terms of that kind of thing. Also, obviously, production wise, ABBA was in Sweden in the 80s as opposed to, or 70s, pardon me, as opposed to being in North America in 2025. A little bit of a different vibe. Or I guess, I don't know where she actually recorded this. I assume maybe actually it's probably in the UK. Either way, technology's come a long way between those two time periods. Yeah, the voice on the post-chorus is dreadful. I do not know why that's there.
I love it so much.
It's
so
she kind of
fun.
does this a lot throughout the album too.
It's what I do really appreciate. So, like, at the beginning of the chorus on this, like, she actually adds like a lower layer at the very beginning of it, and then kind of cuts it out. And so, like, every single time I thought she was going to add a dimension to the chorus to kind of play off of itself, but then it doesn't come out, which I thought was really weird. But either way, the disco kind of style is fun. It's a dance track. Might be a little bit tacky, but so was disco.
Yeah.
So, like, it kind of like hits right there. Yeah, it's a decent track.
Yeah.
I'm in.
It's fine.
And then we slowed it up almost entirely with a little butterfly. Let's give it a listen. All right, Bob, you started this one off.
This is girly pop to the extreme. I'm not digging the super high goofy pop voice she pops into there, and it's in a lot of this song. It completely takes me out of any enjoyment I might be having with the beat. Another fun song. I'm not having any fun, but I know this is a fun song for people.
Somebody's having fun to it.
Somebody's having fun. I'm not me.
Me.
Her, and this is the first time I'm noticing her voice sounds horrendous at the highest notes. I don't like the way her voice sounds whatsoever. I think she's not good at hitting high notes. I think she's fine when her voice is in a normal kind of octave, but the high notes are kind of, I don't want to say screechy, but they're not pleasant for me. And there's a lot of that in the song. I didn't enjoy that. But Mel, how'd you feel?
The song slapped, man. No, I understand why you guys don't like her crazy, like, vocal inflections and voices that she does, but it adds so much personality for me that it works. It really works, and I really enjoy it, and I think it is so much fun. I agree that at parts I could definitely do it less falsetto, like, and that's pretty much a overall comment probably throughout the entire album. There are definitely parts where it works better than this one, but I still really liked it. I really liked the chorus here. There's some fun lyricism, like I can flip a switch quicker than a blade does, like, made me giggle. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the slow up to open everything up. It was kind of nice. You got this really cool backtrack with these pluckier kind of orchestral kind of chords in front of her voice to start things off. But then, yeah, the flip back and forth between the Europop kind of voicing and then her really deep, like, operatic voice. It's not, for me, I can understand the juxtaposition being, like, a fun take on Europop for, like, a lot of other people. For me, just the switch up between the two was really tough.
Sure.
You know, and I'm like an Aqua boy. Like, I love Aqua. And like, but you had like the deep male vocals and the like the higher bubble pop vocals from the female artists. And so I felt like it was more of a conversation back and forth, whereas hearing her do it herself back and forth is odd. It just doesn't quite register properly for me. You know what I mean? Like, again, I can understand anybody who appreciates it. It might just not be a me thing. That's tough. It's just like I feel like I'm snapping my neck going back and forth between the two, and it's a lot. I do really like that they stripped away the strings for the chorus, which is kind of a cool little spot. Like, it really feels like the song does have two identities. I like the production a lot on this. And then the outro being a really pretty combo of like bringing in her operatic voice into that fun dance beat that the chorus had, where she was usually using that Europop voicing. I think I would have just preferred the song if it had all been that operatic voice or all been that bubble Europop voice.
Sure.
Oh,
but the back and forth between the two, like, I know, like, what you're saying. If it was, like, in between tracks, I think that would give it more personality. For me, it just, it felt so jarring, the bounce back and forth. Like, I felt like I was on a bungee cord the whole time, where, like, I'm falling. Oh, I'm springing back up. I'm going up. Okay, I'm going down again. It just felt, like, so back and forth, and
I get it. Trust me, I get it. For me, I thought it was so fun. I just thought it was so fun. And I think if she did too much of one direction, it would like get too overdone almost. It like breaks it up really well for me.
Don't disagree. She's just so on both ends of that spectrum. Like, it's so aggressively on both sides that it's like, it's really, really tough for me to get into myself. Again, there's going to be somebody out there that's going to love that part of it, and all the power to you.
This song and this whole album, as we're going to continue to talk about this, I think this is a very polarizing album. Either you like the style or you don't, and because I don't think the style is bad. It's just not for me. So I think that's going to be a continuing theme.
For sure. She's super talented vocally. The fact that she can do both those voices in general is wild. And dance back and forth between them while recording an album is crazy. But yeah, no, it's just not for me. But now we've got the song that I think Mel was the most excited to listen to when you looked at the track listing. Because I feel like you were. It's called Kissimo, and let's listen, guys.
Yeah, this song is Cunt. It's my favorite on the album. Hands down. I was like, Reclaim Your Shit Girl, the Bonnie and Clyde to Thelma and Louise like transition I thought was well done. Yeah, I was like, this is such a girl anthem, and I'm so in it. It also had my favorite imagery out of all of the songs throughout. Like, she really painted a good picture here for me.
Yeah, bonus points for the track name. It's a fun track name. In general, this is probably one of the most enjoyed songs I had on the album. As anti-man as it is, it's fun. It's a great song. Your classic "fuck men, I don't need them" song, kind of thing. I didn't hate the song at all. I thought this is fun. This is good. I think it's a good use of her voice in a lot of this. Kissimo is such a fun word.
Yeah, I think this is a change up into some like hyper like Europop with this glitch beat that kind of like comes in. Like we lost kind of that operatic style that she was doing, which kind of drew me in a little bit harder on this side of things because it felt like it was consistent throughout the whole track on this one. It's intense, but like the scaly piano in the background like kind of lightens it up just enough to make it an enjoyable one. It really owns these sort of like big concerto reprieves and then these like very Europop dance levels, and then like they pull them away, and I think that's a really cool way to kind of do Europop, because Europop is usually you're just stomping your feet the whole time for the next 8 hours. You know, like, so like this I like the fact that she had all these pullbacks and then these re-entries of a lot of the musicality that was going in there. Again, still maybe not really for me. I can see this being super inspiring though for like dance pop genres kind of moving forward. I can see this album, you know, when I talk about inspired versus inspirational, this one feels like it could be inspirational. It doesn't feel inspired. And I think that's one thing that I find with this whole album as we kind of continue to go through. She is unique. There is nobody else like Marina. And I have a 100%. genuine appreciation for that even if the music isn't necessarily for me, at least she's doing something that I've never heard before. And I think that that's important, because when we listened to like Lady Gaga not very long ago, which was also set to be a dance album, it missed because it felt so much more inspired than inspirational. It felt like it was taking from so many other things. This feels like the trend setting that I would have assumed Lady Gaga to have done on her album.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this feels like she's actually swinging the bat as hard as she can, and some of them end up going out of the park, and some of them don't. But I would have preferred that from, you know, Lady Gaga, who was known to be such a trendsetter. In my opinion, I think she just got beat out, especially with a song like Kissimo. If there is a best pop dance track,
so good.
It's not my favorite track on the album, but I do think like best pop dance track, I think this should be in the running over really anything that I heard off of Lady Gaga's.
Agreed.
I agree. Yeah. I
100%.
almost feel bad saying it, but I agree 100%. Yeah.
It's super real on that side of things. But speaking of you know, your emotions and the and everything, let's play a little roller coaster. I know how much you love roller coaster tropes, because I believe we talked about that in an episode.
Yeah, we did. What the fuck was that? Why am I blanking on her name? But yeah, we did.
Yeah, we like genuinely did. Like, she did a song called Roller Coaster, and it was just really tacky.
It was.
It was so bad.
It was.
But this is Roller Coaster by Marina, so let's do that.
This is so bad. I'm sorry.
This is by far my least
this.
favorite chorus on the entire album. I was so actually upset with the chorus. I thought the refrain went so much fucking harder.
Also, like, on the word roller coaster, like, the British accent, like, comes in and, like, weirdly cuts off the R, like, somehow. Like, I don't know how you could make a word blocky.
Yeah.
But, like, somehow she made it seem chunky. And you're talking about a roller coaster, which is hilarious.
It's so funny. Did you guys get Holla Back Girl with that? Yeah. I was like, it was screaming Holla Back Girl for me.
First thing that I wrote was Holla Back Girls. I don't know. I don't believe it was probably directly sampled, just because.
I don't think so either. It's just the clapping,
it's
whatever.
A pretty generic beat, all things considered. You know what I mean? Just because it was really iconic in that song.
Yeah.
I don't think that warrants that specific beat pattern to be a sample. You know what I mean?
No, but, I agree. It just it will never. If I hear it, it will never not bring me straight to Gwen Stefani. So
this track like it incorporates some flute on it, and it just kind of like it makes it feel so lighthearted, and it has these moments where it feels like it's about to dive into like a darker sort of sound, but it comes back out every time, which I think with the theme of roller coaster is kind of like the downs and the ups. It does kind of do that really well. Plus those big scales on the chorus, it feels like an up and down kind of the whole way through, which again, I thought was creative, and even though it's tacky, but attaching it to the name roller coaster, it works. It
She's embracing
it creates imagery based on that. Like, again, do I think it's tacky? Kind of, but sure. You know, it's honestly, the track, I can't say that I enjoyed it too much. It's big. It's still kind of light. I don't know. It has a key change in the middle of it, which was an odd take too. I literally wrote, this is a roller coaster of a track. It's hard to figure out how I felt about it because of how up and down it made me feel.
I never went up. The electronica is cool. It's fine. The lyrics are the vocals are atrocious.
I was gonna say the lyrics spread me like a picnic on the floor of the forest is fire. So if you came for the lyrics, I was gonna fight you. But vocals, I get it.
She does say she wants to have sex on the sand, which is terrible. It gets everywhere. You don't want to do that. Yeah, it sounds very itchy and gross. But the high notes, the vocals are atrocious. They're not good on this. It took me completely out of it. Like, if it was just the instrumental, I would maybe enjoy this a little bit. No, this one's rough for me. I do not like this.
Well, we can move on then, Bob, since you're so viscerally upset about it. And let's play a little bit of Cupid's Girl.
Oh, no.
The sound effect is so cool. I thought that was so well done. But yeah, this was very Gaga coded for me, but it didn't but why still being very her, which I appreciated. I think her vocals just gave Gaga a lot for me.
It's a way darker dance spot, which I think does better for her. I think she kind of falls into this. This really falls really close into basically nightcore style music at this point. She's a bit of a tempo shift and a vocal filter away from this diving straight into nightcore, and I enjoy nightcore. It's a lot of fun, and I think that this is kind of right down that alley. This was one of my favorite tracks on the album. I liked this a lot, and I know that you said Cantissimo was your favorite. I like her darker sides more than I think I like her lighter sides, which is why I think Cantissimo doesn't hit it, because she tries to stretch her voice more on those tracks. I don't mind it in the nightcore space, because the nightcore songs are basically filtering, would filter those vocals to make them that aggressively high anyways. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this hits the right spot for me on that.
That was my note. There's so many times in this album I think her high notes are atrocious. I think they work for this song. I do. Yeah. And even though at the very heights, I think they're still a little but for the most part, I do enjoy this song, and I enjoy the beat. I think it's got a good flow. Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, I'm in.
Nice.
No notes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought she really sounded like Gaga. I loved the sound effect. I thought that was such a nice touch. I liked her call back to the butterfly with her wing mentions. It's a bop.
100%. And then we got Metallic Stallion right afterwards, which I will say was another one that I think was kind of one of my favorites. But let's listen first.
Interesting.
My metallic stallion races off off, but I chase him fast till I get on top, till his reins come off. 'Cause he acts so tough, but he likes it soft. No, he's scared of love, but our bets are off. I'm the one he can't break off.
Yeah, so like totally slowed all the way up. The album needed a ballad, I feel like, at this point. Mm-hmm. Just like a small step away from the Eurodance style, like for a little bit. And it's exactly that. Like it still hangs on to the styling of the whole album, so it doesn't feel out of place, but like it gives us a break from just dance beat after dance beat, which I think is nice. Like sometimes you need to be able to go up and like get your back against the wall for a couple moments, and
catch your breath.
And so I felt like this did this perfectly. But then it does kind of open up to this really cool like distorted beat behind it. Just another cool track that I think works really well with their vocal style because it comes from that darker side of things. The shadowy side of Europop is what I had written down. Instead of that kind of bubble pop style, which I think was kind of what was so grating about her really high notes on those bubble pop tracks. This kind of shadowy, more nightcore-y side I like a lot more, just for how her vocals and how they do, right?
It's definitely not as jarring. Like the combination between the two isn't as jarring at all. I loved that the beat in the background here gave like a hoof beat vibe. I thought that was like so well done. I thought her wordplay in this one was really, really clever. Yeah, I'm in. I still am liking the dance pop a little bit more, but I really like this.
Yeah, this and the last song I think were two of the highlights for me. I do think her vocal range is shown off better in this style than again the dream pop or the girly pop, whatever we're calling it. But whatever, poppy. I liked it. It was fine. It's I don't know that I'd go back and listen to this over and over again, but it was fine compared to everything else.
For sure. And so then we dive into next track, Janice Qua, which I actually think was like my favorite of the whole album, which is...
spoilers.
Yeah, to say a little bit there, and I'll explain to you exactly why after this. Actually, there's really not a whole lot to explain, but let's listen to it regardless.
More fun than the others. I'm having more fun on this one. Is what I wrote down. I think throughout the whole song, her vocals are great until she goes high towards the bridge a little bit. I think we're back to kind of a little screechy high, a little too much, doing too much in that side of things. But otherwise, yeah, not a bad track for me.
I thought this was a super fun backtrack. It's kind of like new soul, kind of R&B-esque, which I appreciated a lot about it because it's super unique compared to everything else on this album, which is what I really appreciated about it. It was just another dimension to her that I didn't really expect at this point. So it felt so unexpected. I was like, wow, okay, cool. Like, yeah. You're right. You can do more with it than just what you've done so far, and I appreciated that a lot. This is the least Europop style song for sure, by like a long shot. And I think this one was 100% my favorite. It's also the track where I think she's least pushing her vocals. And maybe the organics of that are playing into the fact that I think it sounds a lot nicer than some of the other tracks on the album. The hook is really catchy. I had it stuck in my head all day yesterday. Was loving it on that. And then, it's a big fan. It's a fun track. I'm definitely going to come back to it. It's cool. I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought hotter than God was a weird thing to say. That took me out a little bit.
I
For
agree.
some reason that line specifically made me uncomfy, which like took a few points off for me. I loved the cadence in the bridge. I thought that was really nice. It is so wild that like we are enjoying the complete opposite tracks. Like this wasn't like bad by any means to me, but it was definitely not a highlight.
Super highlight.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Cool.
Neat.
Well, let's see how everybody feels about digital fantasy. Oh no.
Want a digital fantasy? You don't even want the real me. Say it honestly, you don't want real love. Want a digital fantasy? I would rather reality. Sad 'cause honestly, I just want your love.
We're back to what I'm obsessed with. I love it so much. I was like, we're back in the video game. We're back in the Princess Peach world. I also just love the narrative here. Like, yeah, people stop listening to shit online. I don't know. And I really like the crazy vocal inflections because I think it sounds so cool paired with like the digital beat. It's not two things that I thought would work together, but it really does for me. And only me.
Oh no, there's lots of people like you. Off their meds and listening to 16-bit music.
This was the happiest I've been all week, Brandito. I'm kidding.
Don't take that away from her.
This is, it is definitely a digital fantasy. Like I said, it's super like 16-bit-esque, but it incorporates like dub, which is crazy. I don't really know, like, I did not expect dub to come in, but like, it makes it almost instantly like Ace of Base sort of style with that, right? Because of that heavy reverb that they pull into it, which I love Ace of Base. So like, I was okay with it, but like also maybe love's a strong word at the same time. You know what I mean? Like Ace of Base has its place. That's fun to say out loud. Like 10 times face. 10 times face.
Now you're stuck in the rhyme. You can't get out.
Yeah, now I'm stuck just saying ace over and over again. This like hyper digitalized dub beat is really cool to like make a take on a dance song with it. I'm not going to sit there and deny that whatsoever. I think it's a really, really neat way to do it, especially with just how much more digitized it sounds than something like Ace of Bases kind of sounds. It's not my favorite pull though. I think it's really unique. I think it's really creative. I give lots of props to that. Just not really for me. I think it's, again, inherently tacky. Probably not something I'm going to dive back into. I really appreciate, again, when I talk about inspirational as opposed to inspired, this is going to be something where somebody's going to come up with an album that's going to blow me away, and they're going to say, I remember listening to Digital Fantasy by Marina and ended up making this album. And I'm going to be like, cool, you took what somebody else had the idea to do and then just polished it into something that was super approachable and a lot more like engaging. I think Marina's doing a really good job of that throughout this whole album, is pushing some boundaries down, and I have to give lots of credit on that end of things.
I had no remarkable notes on this one. This is another one where I enjoy the theme. I enjoy what she's going for. I didn't enjoy the execution of it, and I think that's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
That's all I got for this one.
Well, Mel, this song I think was written for you. This one coming up
I
next.
was going to say I have a new theme song.
Yeah, no doubt. My first note on this was word her homegirl is all I wrote. Let's listen to Everybody Knows I'm Sad.
Guys, I need my Lexapro.
Maybe I'm not built for this kind of connection. Why is it so hard to let myself get close? I can't even look in my own reflection. Don't want to admit that I've lost all hope. 'Cause everybody knows I'm sad. They know I never felt this bad. Everybody knows
I love a happy beat with just sad lyrics. I love it so much. I love it so much. They're talking about how
I don't even know if these are sad lyrics. This is just like a weird
she's just like she's
Tumblr post.
She's like struggling with being so lonely here. Like it just doesn't sound like that. Like you would think that if somebody's lonely, it would just be sad and depressing. And it is so not. It is such a bop. And that juxtaposition it works so well for me. I'm so here for it.
I don't know. This one doesn't do it for me. It's another Europop track, and like there's not a crazy amount of like to it until it opens up on the chorus and stuff like that with it, which I felt left me kind of bored for like a decent chunk of it. But again, it's another kind of ABBA influenced track. I actually hear a lot of Gaga in this as opposed to everything else, especially the repetition of syllables and stuff like that on it. I still just think she does better in like the darker Europop spaces than these light opening spots. Her voice is just really strong, and because of how powerful her voice comes across, it doesn't portray light. It is heavy. Her voice is heavy, but she's trying to make it seem really light. It's just a vibe pairing that just doesn't work for me. Like, it's not a discredit to her. She's got a very talented voice, and obviously the production on this is really solid. But, like, just the vibe pairing just doesn't work out properly, in my opinion, on these really light beats. It doesn't hit. You know, I'll be honest, I still like this more than Gaga's dance album. But the vocals on this, like, specific track and kind of moving onward for a lot of these starts to take things out for me. Like, the vocal performances at the beginning, I think, were better. Or, actually, I should say kind of closer to the beginning, more in the middle.
Yeah.
Were a lot stronger than where things kind of go. With the exception of, I did like the track that's upcoming. But to close out the album, it was a little bit weaker for me. And this was one of the starts of that.
Yeah. This song made me sad. Yeah, This was bad for me. This is bad for me. I was not enjoying this song much at all. Listen. I get it's unique. This is definitely a unique song, but unique doesn't always mean good. So there you have it.
Yeah,
I'm so here for it.
So then we got a little. This was another one of my top tracks. So we got a little Hello
Wait,
Kitty.
for real? I'm so happy. Okay.
Do we actually agree on this one?
I'm actually so happy. I think it's so ridiculous. I'm so happy.
This is the rah in this is just so
good. It's so good.
So dumb,
so
but so
good.
good at the same time. Yeah.
Let's play
The
it.
whispered, but you must like cats.
Rah, rah. Babe, I'm intense. Don't you know what I meant? When I say I like you, that means I'm obsessed. You might want this side. I'm usually shy. Coming for the kill, like I'm ready to die. I'm here from afar, like a jaguar. Till you say Hello Kitty, make me go rah, rah.
It's so good. Did you you obviously purposely sandwiched, like book-ended the clip with the two different rah-rahs, right?
It's so good. It's
Like, I actually forced my sister to listen to this because I was like, you gotta hear this masterpiece. Like, I can't wait for you to listen to this. The whispered, but you must like cats. It's so fucking funny. I was just dying. I was so entertained. So entertained.
Here's the thing, like, obviously, I've appreciated both ballads on this album, like, quite a bit, like, because it does get so dancey, and the ballads, she has this really strong voice, and I think the ballads show it off really well, so, like, I like both of the ballads, this one being my favorite of the two, but still, like, appreciating them both lots. The beat profile on the track is still really cool, with these, like, interesting, like, machine reverb notes on it, which is cool. The lyricism throughout the album has just kind of generally been a little bit silly, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's not too distracting, though, on most of the other tracks. This one... was like specifically strange though. And like hilariously, I don't think it adds necessarily to the value of the track, but it somehow, with as ridiculous as it is, doesn't take away either.
It obviously adds to it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I agree. I think it's so silly. It's so stupid. It makes it better, honestly.
It just makes me go rah rah.
So fucking funny, man.
It's hilarious.
It's great.
Obsessed. Like obsessed.
To her credit, it does match the theme of the album very well. Like it's silly, it's unique, it's fun. It's just fun. This is a fun track that works, I think. Like for all of it's I don't think it's a good track, but it's a good track, if that makes sense.
Dude, so this is the first time where I actually like went through and like made sure because I was struggling really hard to rate Miley's album. So I was like, I'm going to actually start doing what like Rose and shit does. Like, and I think Brandito, you do this too, where you rate the individual songs and then average it. Oh, so I got it from Rose where I actually wrote down individuals for each. This one got an 8.7 out of me. I loved it so much.
I don't know if I would have been quite there, but like it is one of my favorite tracks on the album. Like it was solid. It's like really funny. I think it has a lot of charm to it. It's so
good. It's so good.
And then we have, moving on from Hello Kitty, we have I Heart You, which let's listen a little bit.
I less than 3
Took it right to the end there.
Sure did.
Sure did.
But
I love like they're all going to Y2K. We're going to the 70s. It was really giving like Madonna for me. Yeah, I loved it again.
This is definitely like a lot more retro pop kind of spot. Like the reincorporation of the voice again that came back through that other character of hers. Don't know if that needed to be there. It's I can't come back to it, and I know a lot of people are going to enjoy it and appreciate it for what it is, but just to get that out of the way, the talking portion, I don't think that hit for me. There is just like the direct talking where she's not doing that super Euro bubble pop voice where she is just talking. I don't think it hit at this point. I knew it was going to happen at some point during this album, but I don't think that was the place for it or the right things to say in that moment. But is what it is. This felt a lot more in line with a lot of the pop from last year, where it had that kind of retro theme to it, kind of throughout a lot of it. So it makes me think this is probably going to be one of the more commercially successful tracks on the album. I don't think it's the best. It's all a lot of fun, but like musically it still feels kind of plain for a dance track. This was one of the only tracks that was, like I said, an 80-mile-an-hour fastball up the middle, and it felt like the lob. And yeah, this one was the lob of the album. It didn't creatively baffle me. It didn't musically baffle me. It just kind of was there.
Yeah. This is another example of a what's I think is a solid beat, fastball or no, it's a solid beat with lyrics and vocals that just waste the potential of it. Honestly, I thought her lyrics sucked, and not her vocals. I think her vocals sucked in this one. I don't less than 3 this. I think I'm greater than 3 this song.
Huh? But that would make...
It's still funny, haha. It's so funny, haha.
That's not a real thing. What would that create?
Are we inserting into butt at that point?
I don't know what we're doing.
Like,
I don't less than 3 this.
Less than... I think
don't try to make sense of my
I think you're
stupid joke.
inserting
Mel, why don't you talk about the song?
carrot into butt.
Let's move on.
No, I was okay with it. It wasn't a highlight.
Carrot into butt.
I think it's carrot
Sorry.
into butt at that point. But it wasn't my favorite. I still really enjoyed it. I didn't mind the talking part. That was what kind of was like Madonna reminiscent for me. Yeah, I don't know. I was here for it. It was very Vogue-y.
No, Vogue is a good song.
I mean, Vogue is a great song. It's an iconic song, but
Yeah, right.
Iconic song, not great song.
shut the fuck up.
Anyways, we're not talking about
Vogue.
Madonna right now. We're talking about Adult Girl, actually, which is the next track on this. Based on the opening, I thought this was going to be a little bit more ballady, which, again, was exciting for me. I like the ballads. I've been enjoying them. Let's listen to Adult Girl.
I don't even know what's real, I just know I wanna be free. All the things I lost and loved, swept them underneath the rug. Like the child I wait and hope you might repair the things you broke. Now I understand the world of adult boys, 'cause I'm an adult girl. I'm an oyster without a pearl, but that's just how it is for an adult girl.
I loved that lyric, so I was really happy that you included that in the clip. It made me happy.
Yeah.
I loved the contrast in her lyrics here, like from razors and knives to kittens, mittens, and plushy toys. I thought like what she was doing vocally with her contrast, she was doing like in the lyrics here. This one was just very like in comparison, it was very vulnerable and tender compared to everything else, which it made it so relatable for me. I really liked it.
Yeah. There was nothing dancey about this track. Nothing dancey about this track, which I did appreciate. This also, based on what she wanted to create this album for, was like this was the message. This was what like she really wanted to portray in this album, which was kind of like, I'm an adult. The Sabrinas and the Olivias and the Chapels and the Billies, they're kids. I'm an adult now. So she's, again, like she wants to navigate the pop world as somebody who's not as youthful as all of the other girls that are navigating the pop world. So I think this was really charming. It was really the purpose of the album was to try to like kind of hit back at the pop industry a little bit. And this was her track to do that, right? Was saying like all you teeny boppers that are taking all of the pop stuff from everybody else, she's like, there's still a space for us too. Like I might not be one of you, but I can still do pop music. And I think that was a really cool way to be able to incorporate again what that final message was, especially on the second last track. Like this is just her being like, okay, now that I've done all of that, like I want you guys to remember, like I'm not one of them. I'm kind of my own person. Give me a little bit of credit where credit should be due, you know, which I can understand a lot coming from her, who's been in the industry since 2005 when some of them weren't born. Tate McRae wouldn't have been alive.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy, actually. Oh my God.
Yeah, lyrics carry the song for sure. I don't think it's that strong musically, honestly, or even vocally, but it's definitely a good one lyrically. I don't really have any other notes than that, but I don't think I'd go back to the song personally. It didn't do much for me, but I definitely, I love the lyrics.
Pardon me, Tate McRae, you would have been 2 years old.
2, yeah.
Wow. Still, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's when I graduated, I think middle school, 2005. Yeah. That's weird.
It's odd.
That's weird.
Right? So I genuinely like I understand where she's coming from in this moment where it's just like, hey, like hi, I'm older, but I can still do it. And I think that's just a cool way to do it. It's not necessarily like bashing anybody. She's not doing it in any other way other than just making just one little ballad on a really nice dance album.
Yeah.
And kind of going from there. You know what I mean? And then she moves on to
Final Boss.
Final Boss.
Fight!
Yeah. Last song, Final Boss, might be one of the only final songs on an album that I actually
that is fucking fire.
But let's listen to Final Boss.
Fuck it, baby, I can be a fall guy. You're the final boss, I'm your rival. But you can't even look me in the eye, no. I know all your games, people like you never change. If I kill you, life will never be the same. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We're back to the Princess of Power kind of stuff, but I actually think this one works. This is one of the highlights of the album for me, ironically. Like, I thought this was a cool song. It's a cool way to have an outro for an album like this. It's still fun. It kind of wraps things up a bit. Like, I like this a lot.
Yeah, this brought everything so perfectly full circle for me. And then, like, she even calls out, like, the thank you, Mario, but our princess is another castle. So, like, it was already giving Princess Peep girl power. Did I say Princess Peep? Princess Peach girl power. And, like, that was just all the confirmation I needed to know that that's what she was 100% intending this entire time.
Yeah.
I loved her voice switch up in the second verse, too, because it was, like, so sweet but so lethal. So, like, to go into, like, a fight song with that, loved it. Loved it. Perfect ending.
I actually like the transition between the two voices on this track. This was, like, the one where I'm like, I can get down with this a lot. And yeah, it was kind of a cool ending. Like, it was lots of fun. It still tied up the messaging of the track between all of the princess stuff that she's already talked about, that Europop style, and kind of the aging thing, kind of all being, like, kind of wrapped in together, kind of at the same time as one final boss, one final song as one final boss, which I thought was a really cool way to do it. Obviously, a super technical dance beat. It's still a fun song that you kind of want to get up and move around to, which is the intention. But yeah, I was down with it. It was a decent little track here. But yeah, so that wraps out all of the songs here. But now we get to hear what's their final take on the whole album.
Well, you want me to go first? Or you want to go?
You go first.
All right. So okay. There's some fun stuff in this album. This album is meant to be fun. It's meant to be poppy. It's meant to be, lighthearted. It's got a lot of uniqueness when I compare it to a lot of the other stuff I've heard already, both of this podcast and just in general. The electronic beats are decent to solid throughout, even if I do think they're a little simple in some songs, but that's kind of par for the course of albums like this. I enjoy the general theme. I like the whole kind of little touching on video games a little bit, touching on just girl power in general. I think it's really cool. It's not an album for me. It's not my type of music. I'm not going to go back and listen to this again. Going through my notes today as we listened to the clip samples and all that, I think I was a little cranky yesterday when I was reading this. And I think I'm coming up on it a bit more today. I'm appreciating it a lot more than I did yesterday when I listened to this the first time. I still think there's a lot of high notes that are just not hitting for me with her. I think she's even auto-tuned in some songs, and I think the auto-tune kind of takes me out of things a little bit too with some of her notes. I don't like the funny girl pop voice she makes in a few of the songs. They don't work for me. I get why they work in general, but not for me. The lyrics are throwaway for a few songs. There's some where they're kind of cool. Again, I'm not going back to this album on my own, but I get why people like it. I wrote down yesterday at 4.3. I'm realizing that's far too harsh on this, so I'm bumping it up to a 6.3. It's a good album. I don't think it's an album of the year by any stretch of the imagination. I think there's some problems with it, but I definitely appreciate the uniqueness of it. And as Brandon said a few times, it's going to be more of an inspiration than inspired, and I think that deserves some extra points as well. Yeah. That's it for me.
Mel?
So, yeah, for me...
Are you going to glaze this thing or what?
I think rating every song individually has helped keep me in check. Overall, in general. Because, yeah, I feel like last episode me, this would have been like a 9.5. But yeah, I got I'm like trying to become more critical with my ratings. So yeah, at points I agree that I could have done with less falsetto. I thought it was impressive that she can even do it to begin with, but it does get like worn out really easily. And when she did it in a chorus, I tended to like it a lot less. Like if it was scattered throughout a verse here or there, I didn't mind it, but I did not like it when it took over choruses. She did all those fun inflections, like gave it such a fun, innocent vibe that was like so clearly contrasting what she was singing about, which I enjoyed so much. I thought it was fun, it's pretty, it's dancey. I loved that she was taking back her power. It felt really like girl power to me. And I would love for this album, like I said, to have like a brat moment. I appreciated it so much. I listened to it 3 times yesterday. I listened to it on my way to my tattoo appointment just to give a little pre like listen to it again for my notes, and I wrapped up my night needing to listen to it once more. Like no fucking lie. Wow. I loved it a lot. I gave it an 8.3.
Wow. Yeah. That's a lot more realistic than I thought you were gonna give it.
That checks out.
I needed to check myself with individual songs. So yeah,
I get you. 100%. All in all, I think it's a pretty solid album. I think there's a lot more in it for people that aren't me, as it really felt like very Europop and dancey, which isn't necessarily my thing. I think the vocals conflict with the dance pop vibe on a lot of those really lighter tracks. But I know there's going to be someone that loves specifically that. Mel has already claimed
love it
ownership of specifically that. I do think this album is super creative, and I do think the album takes like swings, playing on as many ends of the spectrum as it does. But I do think some of those swings are misses, and I don't know if it necessarily has enough high points to like overwhelmingly make up for those low points in a lot of ways. But it's a lot of fun, and for the right person, I think they're gonna love it. It's on a dance album like this, especially Europop, like that's really kind of all that matters, is that the people that want to have fun. So I hate fun, so not necessarily for me. But for the people that want to have fun and like fun,
girls
it's fun.
Just want to have fun.
Have a blast with it. I gave it a 6.8.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been hitting right in between you two today.
Yeah.
Bob's been pretty crushed.
I'm very critical today.
A little curmudgeon over here with all this.
Yeah.
Bob is just nothing's hitting, man.
Nothing's hitting. I don't know. I'm trying to be as objective as possible, but man,
sometimes it just doesn't hit.
Just like that sometimes. Yeah. I brought out my score. Score.
I respect that. Thank you. Because,
I was wrong.
A 4.3 is crazy.
4.3 is a little bit rough.
So
4.3 was rough, yeah.
4.3 is a little bit rough.
I was cranky.
It's okay to be a cranky boy.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up our cover of Princess of Power by Marina. What did you guys think of it? Do you guys agree with us? Do you guys hate us for it? How do you feel about multiple different voices happening at you from every different angle? Are you going to be dancing to this, or do you also hate fun? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you hit subscribe and let us know what your thoughts are. But thanks for joining another album review by On Beat Off Script. I'm Brandito, joined by Mel and Bob, and we'll catch you on the flippy flip. Peace.
Appreciate it, guys.
3, 2, 1.